Rockstar announced with the release of Los Santos Drug Wars, which is coming to GTA Online on December 13th, that we were obviously going to be getting a ton of new cars and vehicles. That is a staple of every single GTA Online update. And we've already been given some hints and clues on what a few of those cars are going to be. For example, they've even named one in particular that we're going to be getting for free, the retro-styled Classe Tahoma Coupe. We've also seen from a handful of other screenshots that more vehicles are going to be coming, like this retro taxicab-styled Oldsmobile, as well as a customized Journey and even a custom MTL Brigade. So we've gotten teased on a handful of vehicles, and earlier today, with the release of a new Grand Theft Auto Online event week, Rockstar accidentally let the cat out of the bag on one brand new supercar that's going to be coming. And I think you guys are going to get really excited about this. So this was originally found by WildBrick142, who's a data miner and Rockstar insider, and then confirmed by insider TezFunds2. He said, found by WildBrick142, Rockstar accidentally leaked a new HSW vehicle coming with the next GTA Online update, the Entity 3. That's its code name, with WildBrick saying, thanks to a goof up with the HSW test ride on Xbox, we now know the next HSW upgradable vehicle coming in the upcoming DLC, the Entity 3. So that is the code name of the vehicle, what it's going to be called in the files, not necessarily what it will be when we get our hands on the vehicle. But I want to talk about that, what this vehicle might be, and its history in the Grand Theft Auto series. So right off the bat, just given what we know from the name, we know that this is going to be a third version of the Entity in-game. So we know that this is going to be a supercar coming from the in-game brand Överflöd. So in the Grand Theft Auto series, Överflöd is a Swedish luxury automotive manufacturer that is primarily based on Swedish hypercar manufacturer Koenigsegg. And they have several cars in-game, including several Entity models. The first was the Entity XF that has been in the game since day one. It is available on the Legendary Motorsports site for $795,000. Now, if you're wondering what the original Entity XF supercar is based on, it's primarily based on the 2002 to 2010 Koenigsegg CC models. So think of the Koenigsegg CCX for the front, also taking some design stylings from the Koenigsegg Agera. Remember that when Rockstar build these cars in-game, they're not necessarily taking them from one real-life body style, but primarily it is heavily influenced by the styling of the Koenigsegg CCX. So the Entity is definitely regarded as one of those like classic supercars that was there since day one and is still available at a relatively cheap price and is going to give you pretty good performance. So it's one of the more popular cars in the game. I would say more players than not have a Entity probably in their garage. Now the other Entity supercar that Rockstar has in the game is the Entity XXR. This was added in the Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series update, and it's available on the Legendary Motorsports site for $2,305,000. So you can tell that this one is a whole lot more expensive than the original Entity. It's also primarily based on the Koenigsegg 1x1, with again taking influences from the Koenigsegg Agera R. And it actually shares a similar profile to the Entity XF, but is definitely done in a more aggressive styling. So you guys can let me know which one you guys prefer better right now as things currently stand before the DLC arrives, the Entity XXR or the Entity XF. But those are the two entities that Rockstar have in the game, and we're about to get a third one. So it kind of makes you wonder what brand new Koenigsegg cars that they've produced since the Entity XXR has come out in-game. And I think one of the two obvious choices here is the Koenigsegg Jesko. So this was a limited production mid-engine sports car that was actually first introduced at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show, and conveniently enough, the car actually succeeds the Agera, which the two entities we have in game are kind of based on right now. And this vehicle is insane. I'll show you guys actually some modifications of what it looks like in GTA 5, talented people of the community that have actually modded the car in-game. And as you would expect, it has all of the classic Koenigsegg or Överflöd stylings about the car itself. It looks super aggressive. We would know this would be in the supercar category, being a two-seater. This vehicle is absolutely nasty, and I could only imagine that it would be one of the fastest and also one of the most expensive vehicles that Rockstar's probably going to have. I mean, if you think about it, if the Entity XXR is $2,305,000, I can't see how they make it any less expensive than that. So I would probably say around 2.5, 2.6, if not creeping up to $3 million, especially if this is one of the best vehicles in the game. We'll talk about how much you're probably going to need for this update in a future video, but this is definitely going to be one of the pricier cars. Now, if Rockstar decides to not add the Jesko, another new Koenigsegg vehicle they could introduce is the Gamera. So the Koenigsegg Gamera is also a limited production vehicle, but what makes this kind of unique is it's a 4-seat plug-in hybrid Grand Tour. So it's essentially a supercar with 4 seats that's also electric. It was actually unveiled back in March 2020 at an online broadcast by Koenigsegg because the Geneva Motor Show was canceled due to the ongoing pandemic. And what's really cool about this car is it's not even out yet. Its production isn't even likely to start until 2024, and there's only 300 units planned. So we know that Rockstar loves their unique cars. This is certainly unique. It's a 2-door car, but it's a 4-seater, and it's also an electric supercar, which we know that gets them very excited as well. Now, I would have to assume that this would also be in the supercar class, but because it has 4 seats, which I don't think Rockstar has ever done in the supercar class, I don't know if they would actually do that. So this could be a first in many ways for Rockstar. But needless to say, this is a vehicle brand that doesn't have a lot of cars in-game anyways. So Rockstar also sort of extends the Överflöd brand to other hypercar manufacturers outside of Koenigsegg. They've also used the brand for German supersports manufacturer Apollo Automobile. So we've seen other vehicles like the Autarch, as well as the Tyrant, which is based on the Apollo Aero, as well as the Zeno, which is based on the SSC Tuatara, which was most recently added in the contract update. So that's the last time we've received an Överflöd vehicle. It came in the contract DLC in 2021, and it looks like at the end of 2022 here, Rockstar is set to add another Överflöd vehicle into the game. So as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below, since we know nothing about this vehicle other than its code name in-game, which is the Entity 3. What do you think this car is going to be? What do you think it's going to be based on? How much do you think it's going to cost? And so much more. Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.